Alright, hello, welcome back to another tutorial in Maya. Today it's all about adding some backlighting to some text or something like that. A lot of times you'll just need a quick, effect to kind of accentuate your text. And in this case I just sort of have an ambient occlusion shader attached to a standard Lambert, and it creates this effect, which is really cool because I have a small point light in here that provides this light right here, and I have a normal MIA chrome preset attached to the text, and this is kind of the effect I'm getting. So essentially this is a really easy text effect, nothing too complicated. We're going to go over this real quick and I'm going to be on my way because I'm almost on vacation. Okay, so this might be the last tutorial for a couple of weeks. I don't know. I'm just going to take some time off. Okay, so anyway, check this out. Let's see what the scene looks like so far. Right here you'll see the text, and I'll zoom out here a little bit. Here I've got a plane, and here is the point light. So really nothing complicated about that. So go ahead and create yourself some text and create a plane, and you'll notice that my plane is sort of invisible right here. I don't have the visibility turned up. If we look over here in the hypershade, let's look at what that Lambert is. Essentially I have a Lambert attached to there, but it's actually this what's called the scanner shader, and it has this MIB ambient occlusion node attached to it. So let's take a look at how to do this really quick and how to play with some of the controls to get that effect. It's really cool. So before we get on with it, make sure you go over and check out Lester Banks, because he's got something new every day. Never disappoints you. Always something good. So here's a Mission Impossible style title in After Effects and Maya, and it's a 5-part look. So obviously I haven't watched this tutorial yet, so let me know how it is, but I bet it's pretty cool, because if Lester finds it and posts it, it must be kind of cool. Okay, so thanks Lester, and let's get on with it. I think what we'll do, just for kicks and grins, is I'll just start from a new scene and go to that recent file, and I think I've got a tutorial version going here, so I'll go ahead and just save that. And here it is. Make yourself a plane. This is a simple polygon plane. Make your text, and you can even drop in your point light if you want. But for the moment, let's not worry about the point light. Let's just sort of look at our text here, and maybe zoom in a little bit there, and let's do some hypershade work real quick. You'll notice the Lambert 1 is attached to both of these defaults by default. And so let's just make a Lambert shader especially for our background back here. Alright, so let's just grab a surface, grab a Lambert, and there's our Lambert. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and grab a MIB ambient occlusion node. Okay, and go ahead and middle mouse button, drag and drop on top your Lambert 2, and connect that to the incandescence. Okay, now we have a nice connection there with our Lambert 2. So I'm going to go ahead and click on there, and I think I'll come down, assign this existing material of our Lambert 2. Alright, let's take a look at that real quick. Right over here you'll see you got your Lambert 2, and here's the color, here's the transparency, but you'll notice that in the incandescence it's hooked up to our ambient occlusion node. So we won't be able to mess with incandescence, but this is where all the fun is, okay? And you'll notice that the color is in the middle. That's default. We'll leave it there for the moment, but look at our transparency. Right now, if I just do a quick render, well actually I'm not even going to do a render yet. I'm going to take this transparency and I'm going to move it all the way up. And you'll notice that it disappears, and that's cool. That's what we want. We want to just raise that transparency up so we just know that this has an ambient occlusion node stuck to it. Okay, so that's easy enough. Now in your hypershade, just go ahead and click on your ambient occlusion node here, and you'll notice that over here you have a bright color, which is white, and a dark color, which is black, which technically would be normal for an ambient occlusion to sort of figure out what to do. But in this case, I'm going to take this bright and move it all the way down to black. All right, and I'm going to take this dark color and we're going to use this as our color channel. So I'll just stay with the blue that I was kind of going with, and maybe just pick a blue right in there somewhere. No big deal. And let's see what happens right now as a default on our render. I'll bring this render view back over here. Oh, let's zoom in a little bit on that, and let's do a quick render, and we'll see what happens. Okay, it looks a little funky there, but it is coming in. We see where that's having its effect now. So let's fine tune this. Let's go into our render settings. I'm going to bring the render settings up over here and switch its quality up to high quality. We'll just go to standard production quality for now, and we'll go to production. Okay, no big deal. Everything's good. And I think in my comment section I might do a little bit larger render. So I'll do a 1280 by 1280 by 720. All right, and there we go. So let me get rid of that. Let's see what this looks like on a little bit larger scale. And that's looking much better. It kind of cleaned up that effect in the background. Really cool. Okay, so now what can we do to this to maybe tame it down a little bit? Well, the max distance is kind of important in this effect because right now it's at 0, and we need to maybe give that a value just so we can kind of see what it's doing. So let's give this max distance a value of, say, 0.250, and let's just see what happens there. I'm going to go ahead and save this, and I'll go ahead and do another render. And right now you're seeing not much happening there. So, you know, max distance is making an effect. So let's go back to, say, like 0.500. All right, and see what happens. Okay, now it's starting to come in a little bit more, and, you know, starting to have a little bit of more of an effect. Now, we can also change this max distance maybe to, say, 1. And let's see what happens when I get to 1. All right, a max distance of 1 is going to give us a lot more throw back there. So actually it's probably good at, like, say 0.0600 or something like that. We'll do 0.600. And there it is. So you can see we're changing your fall off a little bit, and changing your max distance will really kind of help you mess with that a little bit. And you can always clean it up with doing a couple more samples. Like, we could always switch this up to, say, 32 or something or more. You know, it just depends on what you're doing. I'll go ahead and save that, and then let's see what it looks like with a few more samples taken. That'll clean it up a little bit and make it, like, really cool. Okay, so there it is. That's as simple as it gets, and this could represent, you know, neon backlighting, or anytime you need some kind of backlighting to kind of offset your text. Really a cool little effect. Now let's add in our light. Let's bring this down here and maybe create a light, and maybe just a regular point light, and let's bring it out a little bit and up. All right, no big deal there. And in this case, I think I want to create a material for this. So in the Hypershade, what works out nicely, I'm just going to clear my graph. Usually a normal MIA material, like if I just click on the MIA material and assign that to my text, we'll just take our text and we'll give it that MIA material, and let's see if we can find it over here. There it is in our tabs. And maybe just give that the preset of Chrome. I'll just go ahead and give it a Chrome preset. And now, if we take another view in here, we'll see what that does. That kind of will give me my effect that I'm looking for with some lighting. And remember, you can animate these lights to do whatever you want to do. But now that we've introduced a light in there, you can see where, you know, it has some fall off, and, you know, we can play around with that. And we can also animate that light to kind of, oh, maybe come flying by here. And we can also, you know, animate any parameters that we want back here with our color of our ambient occlusion. So let me switch back over here a second and check this out. You could always keyframe this to go from, you know, any color you want. So basically this could change color behind there as a light goes over, or whatever. I mean, use your imagination. You can see the possibilities of using this as a quick text effect for doing titling and, you know, some really cool stuff. Put everything in motion, and there you go. I'd do a lot more, but hey, I'm almost on vacation. So anyway, that's about all I've got for you this week. And as always, be a good person and take it easy and enjoy life. And read an ebook now, because I guess they've canceled books, which is kind of sad. What about those big picture books you used to get with like great photography and big coffee table books? Well, okay, can't get them anymore. You got to look at them on your e-reader. Yeah, right. Okay, so have fun, and there you go. Over and out. See you in a couple weeks.